So I would like to give you an idea of what it's like to do subconscious work and to see the results and the change that occurs when you deal with things on the subconscious level as opposed to the conscious level of the brain. So I'd like you to pull up an emotion and just think about something recently that has bothered you. And that can be something big. It can be something, like somebody really doing something super hurtful or betrayal, but it can also just be something someone said on social media or something your mother-in-law said. Just whatever it is that you are fixating on. It can be a future worry, it can be a past experience, but just something that you can pull up a strong emotion about. And so just close your eyes for a moment and start to think about that particular memory or thought and really put yourself inside of it. Just starting to think about what was said, what might happen, and deep dive into it. Feel whatever emotion is associated with that story. Let that come up as intensely as possible. And give it a rating on a scale of 0 to 10, how much emotion is associated with that thought or that memory. And then open your eyes for a moment because I want to show you something. So through this process, in order to get both sides of your brain working on it, in order to get your energy flowing around healing this, I'd like you to do some tapping on your karate chop point. So that's 4 fingers, not on the palm of your hand, not on the back of your hand, but on the side of your hand. Just tapping gently like that, maybe 15 or 20 times, and then switching to the other side. And you can just continue that easily through the rest of this process if you'd like to keep it simple. But if you do know EFT tapping, you can add in the regular tapping points like this as we go through the process. Really up to you what you feel like is right for you through this. So you can either just keep it at the karate chop point or you can add in the tapping points. Now, go ahead and close your eyes again. You don't have to be tapping quite yet. Take a nice deep breath, get present in your body, and then bring up that emotion, bring up that feeling, bring up that story around that feeling. And just immerse yourself in it. Imagine that it was happening right now. Feel that feeling. And begin the tapping. Whichever tapping sequence you prefer, go ahead and begin the tapping. Feel that feeling. Let it just take over. Let that feeling become the strongest part of your experience. And that feeling is going to bring you back to its origin point. Your subconscious knows when the first time was that you originally felt this way. And so you're going to allow your subconscious mind and your higher self to bring you back to the origin of this feeling. And this origin may be from your past. It may be from your childhood. It may be from infancy. It may be from in utero. It might be from another lifetime. It might be from an ancestor. So you're just feeling the feeling, and the feeling is going to bring you back. Your higher self and your subconscious are going to bring you back to the origin point of where this first got implanted for you. So just feel it. Just keep telling yourself a story. Just keep feeling that emotion, that feeling, how it feels in your body. Continue tapping, and it's bringing you back. And when I count from 3 down to 1, you're going to be back inside the version of you or an ancestor that first experienced this feeling. In 3, 2, 1, in. Continuing to tap, continuing to feel the feeling and noticing any differences at all. Noticing whether you feel like it's dark or light around you. Noticing whether the feeling feels the same or different. Noticing whether you feel like you're indoors or outdoors. Noticing whether you feel like you're alone or with other people. And just trusting whatever comes to mind, whatever pops up, just trust it, just allow, and just keep going with that. Even if you feel like you're making things up, when I ask you questions, I want you to answer with the first thing that pops into your head. How old are you right now? What are you wearing? What's going on around you? What's the situation or the story around this? Where did this feeling come from? Just continuing to tap and really looking at where this originated, where you originally felt it or experienced it. Letting that come up, letting the story and the situation come up. Feeling into it. And then stepping outside of that past version of yourself as you right now. And asking that past version of you, what do you need right now? What do you want most in this moment? And whatever it is, giving it to them. Sharing your wisdom with them. Or maybe it's just holding them, giving them support, giving them a hug, or removing them from the situation. Maybe it's standing up for them in the situation. Maybe it's just they needed somebody to play with. Really, just going back and giving them whatever it was that they needed most in that moment. Holding a space for them, giving them support, giving them love, giving them your wisdom. Just holding space for that, continuing to tap. And then whatever it is that you believe in, your higher self, your divine team, the energy of the universe, some kind of divine entity, God, whatever it is that you believe in most, coming in and surrounding you both with healing, surrounding you both with all of the support that you could ever want or need, especially when this feeling comes up. And your team, where this energy is filling and surrounding you with peace, with light, with healing. And they're just working on you, removing the pain around this, removing the fear around this, removing the negativity around this. And it's like this shower of light shows up above you and begins to shower down on both you and this past version. And there's a drain at your feet. And all of the pain and the negativity and the fear is just getting washed down the drain into the core of the earth to be burned away at the molten core of the earth. And it's being replaced with this light and with the loving support of your team. And you just continue to allow. And I want you to just surrender now so you can stop the tapping and just receive. You and this past version of you receiving. Letting all of that negativity, all of the pain, all of the fear, everything associated with your current trigger and the origin point trigger getting washed away into the earth and being replaced with this light. Just receiving, just surrendering. And then when you feel like this past version of you is completely cleared and healed, hold them to you, embrace them, and actually use your arms, enact this. Hold this past version of you or this ancestor tightly to you and let them begin to merge with you, to integrate into you, to sink into you, bringing all of that healing and that wisdom and that peace with them into you, into every cell, into every molecule. Feel them sinking in, into your DNA, into your brainstem, into your experience. Vowing to them that you will live your life now in a way that helps to serve them and bring them more joy and more peace and more support. And letting it just become one with you, bringing that peace into yourself. And then, when you feel complete, taking a deep breath, and then bringing your awareness back to the original trigger that you started with at the beginning. Whatever the fear was or the negative thought, whatever the situation was, bring that up again. Let that come to the forefront. Try to bring up whatever feelings you have about that anymore and give those a rating. You can repeat this process if there's still any feelings about it left. There may be another memory or situation associated with it that needs to be dealt with, or you may be complete. I will also share below some information about the Cadillac of tools that I really find far more effective even than this. So I will share that information with you on how to get even more astonishing subconscious results. And I hope that this really helps you a lot and that you find great healing on the conscious and subconscious level.